Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from the host Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 on Reshiv Winter. No, wait, hang on, it's Pripyat Winter. Pripyat. I messed up those two for some reason, apparently because they both have ice. Yes, indeed, ice, ladies and gentlemen. That thing where you can get out on that's rather slippery, and if you're not careful, your tanks will sink through. We shall be watching Dberlatoo fighting for the Soviet Union for the 40th Guards Rifle Division, going out against Noise of Carpet fighting for the Reich, fighting for the 4th SS Panzergrenadier Division Polizei. And we are seeing the infantry company going up. We're seeing an MG42 start. We're also noting he is starting out with a dual pioneer start, thus intent on grabbing as much territory as possible, and then of course using an MG42 to quickly consolidate some of the gains. But that of course also means that Noise of Combat initially will be a bit behind in the raw combat power against the forces of Stalinism. Conscripts arriving there for Dberlatoo, and we're also noting though that he actually also went for a special rifle command start. So we're actually noting here that Noise of Carpet will be the one seizing more territory initially compared to Dberlatoo. But at the same time, of course, Dberlatoo will be a bit quicker and perhaps getting some bigger firepower out though, depending on what that is. Though of course, as you're also noting, it's not that huge of a delay, in particular since Noise of Carpet is using his one pioneer squad track to rush ahead and thus is not focusing as much on grabbing territory with that single unit. So even then, despite the sort of special rifle command start we did see from Dberlatoo, I mean, he's still ahead in territorial gains compared to the Germans, and that's one of the advantage of the Soviets do have, that they can grab territory faster than the Germans. Of course, that's something they should try and utilize. But why going up here by the central watch tower position? But why all along the watchtower, I suppose? MG42 moving up there, pioneer securing there, going for the munitions. Apparently might have the MG42 cover the fuel. And there we go, Grenadier Squad arriving for the Reich. Yeah. Southern point being secured. Very low on the combat units, but again, so it's the same for Noise of Carpet, and there's no actual engagement so far, so there's nothing that can actually indicate for Noise of Carpet that anything like that is happening. We're also noting that this is going to be a sniper start. So a pair of Soviet snipers have arrived, ready to blow some brains out. Northern half secured, southern part being secured as well. Still no engagement.
We have a fresh grenadier squad.
Setting up a lot of barbed wire, but not quite finishing most of it, which looks a bit odd. I imagine though he wants to ensure the opponent can't rush the watchtower position. This one an interesting approach to doing it. Sing Grenadier Squad out here for Noise of Carpet, and there we go. Conscripts moving up north, perhaps having to cut off the victory point here, but instead encountering some Grenadiers who are not intent on letting that happen.
You found something?
Point there secured.
This is a nice spot of land, and it is ours.
The sniper in a scout car combination. It's been some time since we've actually seen it here on the Propagandacast. Can be a bit nasty.
We have liberated the objective.
And we're seeing telemines down here for Noise of Carpet. And lovely to see some mines being used, although he might want to place it up a bit here, since of course there's a chance there's more maneuverability up here, of course, and there's of course a chance the mine can be dodged a bit more. Looks like Dberlatoo is trying to avoid a direct confrontation. Instead going to see if he can't scout out the flanks and do some nasty harassment there. Whereas we are seeing Noise of Carpet making more direct thrust, but also likely hoping to cut off some resources from Dberlatoo. And now we're seeing additional conscripts out. Now the scout gun sniper is there. He needs infantry. And a mortar on the way for Noise of Carpet. There we go. First casualty of the fight. Sniper opens up. Gets Heinrich.
We have a mortar team available for deployment.
Next casualty up. The snipers definitely doing their job already. Grenadiers are going to need to pull back. Pioneers might want to do something more up there.
Rounds incoming!
And a bit of taking up. Sniper though this time around actually missed. Things are beginning to look a bit tricky. Noise of carbon under a lot of pressure, and he's perhaps a bit unprepared here for the scout car sniper combination. We are seeing some mutinying about in the north there. MG42 looks to be covering from this area. Perhaps less obvious. And there we go, conscripts coming under fire. Most intense and ruthless. Whoops, hiccups. Less than good, like to make a nice company is up. Scout car going to see if he can't hit the flank. Pioneer's in a bit of trouble here. And there we go, one man down. Conscripts pinned to the ground. And conscripts here coming under mortar fire. Scout car rushes ahead, and there we go, barely dodges the mine. Had the mine been a bit more forwards, the scout car would have not been able to actually avoid it. Instead, he also had the MG in such a way that the scout car was incentivized not to take this path, which of course is a bit of a shame. And now, of course, there's a considerable problem here for Noise of Carbon. His Grenadiers almost wiped out. Oh dear. Scout car arrives from him as well. But he might lose a Grenadier score, which is definitely going to be a loss. No. Very, very lucky Grenadier. Sniper managed to miss. Mortar round continues to fly through the air and not actually hit anything. That's quite impressive. But there we go. Finally, 2 Soviets go down. Scout car rolling up. Firing against that machine gun, and we're seeing it upgraded. Needs to instead, he didn't target. You sometimes you do need to actually target. He's moving ahead. Needs to be careful. And there we go. Anti-tank grenades. Noise of Carbon got too reckless, and he's going to lose that scout car, and thus the 70 munitions invested in it as well, because he got too reckless, too greedy. He wanted that scout car down, and he wanted it done fast, and thus he actually ended up losing it while not getting the other thing. So that was a bit of a poor tactical decision, or perhaps a case of unfortunate judgment. Combat Engineers versus Pioneers, Flamethrowers versus just gentlemen with MP40s. Grenadiers need to retreat. Come on, Noise of Carbon. MG gunners getting sniped. And of course the Soviet scout car is still there. It still remains. Taking machine gun fire, mortar rounds flying through the air and not really still hitting anything. Apparently barraging. And the scout car just barely gets out of there. Oh, the bloody luck.
We have been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers. Freezing here. HMG here.
And there we go. Gets a few conscripts. The stray mortar out, and there we go. The MD crew is dead. Mortar needs to get out of this. Well, in fact, it's freezing to death.
We have liberated the objective. Pioneer squad. Grenadiers reporting.
Things are not looking too good for Noise of Carbon. He needs to get that mortar crew out of there.
Our forces increase.
And by out of there, I do mean out of there.
Move them to cover.
And sadly, instead, he ended up losing it. Though one last mortar round did come in and avenge by slaying a guardsman.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Looks like a two-pronged assault. One larger main assault force with another grenade squad moving up the flank. Could he try and get off a rifle grenade and catch the snipers there? That could work out. There we go. Rifle grenade sent us down. No, he's starting it after the conscripts, but perhaps that was part of the plan. Panzer is advancing, tearing through another squad of conscripts, which is very low on health. That could actually be good for him if he could catch it, if he could destroy it. Yes, squad wiped out. Guard squad at the same time getting absolutely punished here. Almost wiped out. If he gets the last man, that's going to be excellent. That's going to be a huge blow to Dberlatoo. Pursue! Pursue! Come on! Slay the enemy! Hunt the foe! Get moving! Ah! Gott in Himmel. Last guardsman did escape. That was a bit of a shame. Definitely would have been great if he could have destroyed that one as well. That would have been a huge series of blows that Dberlatoo would not have been able to recover from any time soon. We are seeing mines going up in south though. Good. Good. Mining the roads. In fact, mining a crossroads right here. Well done. And time to pop over to Dberlatoo. Short of one conscript squad. In fact, getting another scout car. Might want to pop the guards infantry onto that and then get a nasty little combination, which is a German scout car, but a very hard time dealing with. And a flame for a half to up. Flammenpanzerwagen. Ah. Nasty little thing that. Continuing, in fact, to mine the southern approach. Good job. Oh dear, and there we go. Scout car, but it's still there. If he can rush in some pioneers, he could quickly get back in the fight and keep it there. But also, he's not reinforcing his grenadiers right here. That might also want to get done, but pioneers now need to get up. War sind die Pioniere. Another mine went off there, killing 2 Panzer Grenadiers. Scout car not receiving any support, not any aid. Pioneers for some reason up there. Come on, Noise of Carbet. Pull it together. Schnell. Also noting the guards motor doctrine up for Dberlatoo. The guards mode in a guards combined arms, so anything that allows hit the dirt. Instead it's going to be heavy mortars all the way. And yeah, that's that German scout car. Definitely a shame that, but nothing to do about it, I suppose. A bit too slow there. Panzerabwehrkanone rolling in. Position of the mortar is a bit, I think, exposed. Not really a good one.
Enemy infantry has our range. What?
Noise of Carbet seems to be getting a bit passive, a bit slow, a bit timid. There we go, conscripts launching up the centre. Mortar pit pulled back, at the same time clumping up. If a heavy Soviet heavy mortar was to arrive now, this could prove very unpleasant. Flame for a half track adding in, and there we go, burning away. Panzerschrecks on the Panzer Grenadiers. And a mechanized support armor company. No wild surprises there. At least there shouldn't be.
We have found the enemy! Watch out! Grenade!
And looks like a light machine gun and a Soviet light machine gun on this Grenadier squad. Giving them quite a bit of firepower. Advancing up here. I tried to mine, but I think that on the other hand was a bit too far ahead. Instead getting spotted here by the sniper in the scout car, which is already Veterans 1 by the way. And swiftly closing on Veterans 2. Pioneer squad slaughter. That was definitely a bit reckless, careless by Noise of Carbet. Who seems just intent on digging in around the 3 victory points, perhaps occasionally harassing down here. But I think he needs to be more aggressive, he needs to push further, push harder, put some pressure on Dberlatoo.
Where do you need us?
Ooh, nice round grenade right there. Scout car continues to pressure, not really much of a response to stop it. Flame for a half check, not really achieving much either. Dberlatoo so far pushing gently, not launching any all-out assaults yet. Fuel cache going up for him as well. And there we go, Guards infantry get exposed to the flamethrower, almost wiped out again. Can the Panzer dead samurai? Also the scout car pushing in with flamethrower combination. There we go, Panzer X knock it out. It's actually just abandoned though. Just abandoned. We also note here a light machine gun has been dropped. Looks like Noise of Carbet lost something he shouldn't have.
A squad of infantry has been killed.
And there we go, conscript squad wiped out, Guards infantry barely alive. And there we go, another scout car down. Dberlatoo is all of a sudden suffering rather heavy casualties. This would be a good time for Noise of Carbet to push on as hard as possible, secure as much as possible.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
H-35 could be called in, and it will in fact be called in.
Enemy squad has
Of course, we could also try and save up resources with the T-3045s, but I suppose that's not quite in his plans.
under attack. Engineer standing by. Guard squad ready.
Lots of anti-tank rifles lying around. Support armor co-op. And the mine went off right there, interestingly enough. Curious positioning of that mine.
We have the point.
Things get a bit quiet. And there's MD-42 apparently not deciding to reinforce.
Units awaiting
And there we go, the H-85 arrives on the battlefield. 22 kills and veterans in this sniper, definitely making it much more lethal. Also looks like the Grenadiers will want to lose the LMG-42.
Germans, they're attacking us. Enemy infantry.
Getting overwhelmed.
Desert conditions are imminent.
German mortar firing away H-85 sniper. Mortar still at not really a good position. I have no idea why Noise of Carbon intends on having it that exposed, but nothing covering it. Not really good mortar handling, and there we go. Mortar cleared out again. That's not really a comforting statistic. And there go Pentagon is getting some veterans. Snipers getting out of there. H-85 also getting out of there. So Pentagon is moving up, and they're just going to have a bit of trouble dealing with them. Grenadiers with what sounds like an LMG-42. H-35 continues to take damage as the Panzers push onwards in the name of the Reich. Set running into some conscripts, going to be likely bar their way, and the Pentagon is already in a poor condition. Noise of Carbon might just want to consider pulling out of there right away and get them back to strength without suffering needless losses. But no, decides against it. Bundle grenade off. Killing only 2 men at the same time. Guard squad arriving, almost wiping out the Panzer Grenadier squad. That's just terrible. For the Germans this, for the Soviets I'm pretty sure it's a joyous occasion. And there we go, Panzerkampfwagenfeuer has arrived on the battlefield.
This now belongs to the people and workers of the Soviet Union.
Already upgraded with the machine gun on top, the anti-aircraft machine gun in fact. So that was what they were originally placed to there, but of course they also turned out to be quite handy at shooting infantry. Since people tend to have that weakness that if you shoot a machine gun at them, they tend to die. Scout, kind enough, has not been put back together. It's being left as it is, and we're also seeing a heavy mortar has arrived for Dberlatoo, adding in a bit of nasty artillery. And already opening up on suspected positions of Noise of Carbon. Which is nice, but Noise of Carbon is still being a bit passive, still no real assaults, but there we go, looks like one is heading into the south. Troops beginning to freeze for Dberlatoo.
Yes, comrade. Construction is complete.
Rather slow match in some respects. The player apparently expecting the other one to make the big move and then react to that. That's a bit awkward.
What do you need? Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory. Combat engineers.
MG crew desperately needs to get out of there. In fact, looks like it's just pulling back towards the flame for a half-track again. The half-track in that sense serves, of course, also the purpose of maintaining a front line a bit easier without having to constantly pull back troops. Panzer IV slowly but surely advancing. Doesn't want to take too many risks. Combat engineers running into trouble. Flame for after, and the hit actually knocks out the engine. And a Pak 43 is going up. Panzerabwehrkanone, 43. And the H-85 is going to be in the line of fire. Flame for after gets abandoned. Doesn't look like the Pak 43 will be up in time though. A definite shame. And there we go, flame for half check, wiped out.
The blizzard is gone.
SU-85, combat ready.
So close to getting that SU-85, so close. But no luck, instead we're seeing a light artillery barrage going down, shattering the ice. And we're seeing light artillery barrage, and of course the Pak-43 means joint strike doctrine for noise of carbet.
Warning! The troops are freezing to death.
And a bit of pressure here from Dberlatoo, who's launching an assault after assault. Snipes providing support. 28 kills. Conscript squad moving up the south, but getting murdered here by the Panzer IV.
Seizing the sector.
Conscript squad lost. Scout car once more in Soviet hands.
Light artillery barrage at your
And looks like the Grenadiers going to launch this. So we're seeing self-repairs up from the Guards motor doctrine.
Fire! Need to kill some panzers?
A head-on assault here against the scout car. Infantry moving in. Grenadiers need to be careful here. Forsicht, Forsicht. And there we go, mortar round hits, killed several Grenadiers. They need to retreat, they're low on health. In front of a scout car, combating, yes. Sniper nearby. Oh dear, Grenadier squad lost, Grenadier squad lost. Ah, that was a senseless loss, and not one I think he would have fought to suffer. And there go light artillery barrage going down, causing nasty losses, in particular to the heavy mortar crew. But looks like the heavy mortar will be able to escape. Sniper still surviving everything being thrown at it. Bloody hell. And the H-85 is moving forwards. Boldly going when no one else has gone, and there we go. Pak-43 opening up. Can it hit? And a button up Panzer IV. Panzer Grenadiers moving up. But I do believe it's time for the mid-game analysis. So, what is the situation currently? Noise of Carbet is holding most of the map, but he's also rather the one shortest on units. He's done some damage to Dberlatoo, but Dberlatoo has been able to overall preserve more units and able to also in several cases do more damage to Noise of Carbet, and that's rather where the problem is. Noise of Carbet now has very few units to hold a very large frontage with, and that's a problem for him. And in some ways, he needs to turn this around. And that's going to be the challenge for him. And he's definitely going to need more infantry, because 2 squads of infantry is not going to cut it. He's getting more Panzer IVs, but I mean, with the H-85s and all that, it's going to be less effective. And I would certainly recommend, instead of a 2nd Panzer IV, another Ostman, instead trying to rely on the Pak-43 to deal with the Su-85. Instead, try to use armoured force to wipe out the infantry, and that way gain things back to some more proper grounding, where Noise of Carbet might have a chance of getting back into things. He might also want to push out a bit more, do some harassment here, perhaps take away another munitions point from his enemy. He should also use a bit more of his doctrine, either get out of the artillery field, or so he should even try perhaps, you know, saving up resources, going for a light field howitzer, and that way perhaps apply a lot of pressure to Dberlatoo, blowing up units, perhaps even H-85 or some other fun things, or for that matter, blowing the enemy heavy mortar to bits. In that sense, you know, the howitzer could be a good move, but he certainly needs to use more than just, you know, the light artillery barrage in, you know, that one Pak-43. Otherwise, it's not going to really work out for him, I think. For Dberlatoo, of course, he's going to need to gain some ground. His opponent's holding most of the victory points. On the other hand, he does hold the unit advantage. He also holds a sort of broader variety of units. He has tanks as well as infantry, elite infantry, machine guns, heavy mortars, snipers. Basically, Dberlatoo has a larger suite of combined arms, which does grant him some greater strengths if he utilizes it properly, attacks the right spots. He can definitely force Noise of Carbet back, because again, Noise of Carbet can't really maintain a solid frontline presence anymore. And of course, with this doctrine, he's already using guards, and he's sending more parts of his doctrine that Noise of Carbet is of his. So in that sense, there's certainly some advantage. And if he was to get 2 T-30-45s and roll them, he could probably roll the entire thing up. But let's return to the fight. Let us see how this goes.
Light artillery barrage ready to launch.
Let us see how this evolves.
Pioneers ready for anything.
Mortar needs to be crewed again, I would think.
778-604 is
Einsatzbereit. That's everyone. Grenadiers ready.
Rebuilding forces. Dberlatoo is on the warpath. Lots of units there. Looks like he's pulling that Panzer IV up into a reserve position, ready to react. Also trying to keep it out of range of the enemy Su-85. Second Panzerkampfwagen arrives. More light machine guns there. And now he should get some extra units. An artillery field officer would be swift, and again would also be able to boost his troops. Either that or get some more grenadiers and upgrade them on light machine guns. There we go. Grenadier on the way. Conscripts moving ahead, coming a bit under fire. Panzerabwehrkanone blasting away with its high velocity 88mm gun. Very large anti-tank gun, in fact, but not the largest. There was one that was bigger than that. The Pak 44. Also considerably rarer. And there we go. Counter-attack in motion. Panzer IV. Flamethrower pioneers. Panzer grenadiers. Everything's moving up. Guards infantry arriving as well. Heavy mortar blasting away, not really hitting anyone so far, and it's actually killed more friendly units than enemy units. Then again, the friendlies are cheaper than the enemy units, so I suppose that's that. Su-85 moving up ahead. Panzer IV taking hits. Panzer IV needs to pull back. Conscript close to getting wiped out. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Does it happen? Yes! Conscript squad lost. Artillery barrage just going in on the ice, but already units have vacated the premises. Pioneer squad wasted. And there we go. The Su-85 actually rolls in, going to see if he can't catch him. And he's hit my Commander 5 from the Pak 43. And there we go. One hit, and he's actually moving up ahead. He's still going it. He's still going it. Dberlatoo might have gotten a bit too greedy there. And there we go. Good night. Pak 43 sends it to hell. Or I don't know, wherever such a thing might go. And now, Noise of Carbon actually has a chance to push forward, but is he aware of it? Is he aware of the possibilities? And why hasn't he cancelled this so he can get munitions back? Ach, schnell! Instead, Noise of Carbon gets ominously passive. He's just done a lot of damage to his opponent, and again, he's not pushing forward. Noise of Carbon needs to get that sort of ability to pursue his enemy when he senses weakness, and blowing out a conscript squad in Su-85, I would think, indicates some kind of weakness. Ach yeah, I did blow up quite a bit of his army and destroy some valuable units, but you know, I think I'm still on the bad side, yeah. I mean, come on, Noise of Carbon, be a bit adventurous. Sometimes you have to push to find out. Of course, you have to be a bit cautious, but you know, push nonetheless. Instead, he's just allowing his opponent to bombard away. And it's too late now, of course. Another Su-85 has arrived, and there's a chance to really apply some pressure. Oh, mine went off again, right in that same spot. Certainly not always a bad idea to mine the same spot, certainly. But, you know, a bit unfortunate for the Grenadiers, who just lost 3 men. Rolling around the same crater. All thinking this is a bit awkward. And so again, a missed opportunity. Again, a howitzer could now perhaps be the one solution here. Blasting away from a nice distance, trying to catch that enemy mortar. And that Pak 43 is suddenly getting very accurate, actually killing 3 infantrymen. That's certainly impressive.
Normal weather is returning.
Grenadiers ready.
Panzer IV ready.
And an MG42 covering advance. Light artillery barrels going down from the leichte Infanteriegeschütz. A type of light howitzer that Soviet infantry, German infantry units, not Soviet, bloody hell. But German infantry units would have. Each battalion would have had a pair of these and some heavier infantry guns. Schweres Infanteriegeschütz would have 15cm guns. So they didn't quite have as much range, but they were basically there to provide each infantry battalion with its own local artillery, more than just howitzers. Or mortars, there. Panzer Grenadier units would have had some self-propelled variants, no more specifically the Grille. Panzer IV here, though, moving rather exposed, taking nasty damage there from the Su-85. And there we go. Blitzkrieg, blitz. This is not looking too good. And a Grenadier squad wiped out again. Noise of Carbon needs to be a bit more careful. He's getting a bit reckless. Su-85 moving up again, though. Su-85 moving up, but he can't see it. And there we go, veterans one for the Pack 43, H85 within line of fire. Fire frei! There we go. But looks like the H85 will be able to escape. What an absolute shame. And of course the heavy mortar continues to fire away without remorse, without mercy. And we're seeing an Austrian flak panzer. Again, I'm thinking that's a mistake now. I really would have liked to see a howitzer. Veterancy 3 sniper, which really means that sniper is going to be taking out a lot of German lives in short succession. Panzer is pushing up the south. And the Grenadiers here taking an awful lot of enemy fire. Common Engineer Squad south massacred. Grenadiers here just need to retreat. 7 kills on that Pack 43. It's... oh, never mind. Heavy mortar finally took out the crew. What an absolute shame. Panzer IVs are getting repaired. Interesting enough, they've not been pulled back to the repair point here. Panzer is trying to flank up, but needs to be careful as well. Down to half health. There's a sniper that's veteran to 3 MG42s. And other nasty things. Quick bundle grenade though. Does alright, but still not looking good. Panzer Grenadiers need to retreat. Veterans are free, but also forced to run past a lot of nasty things. Down to 1 man. Looks like they're making it. Panzer IVs not being repaired. Austrian moves up. The situation is looking grimmer and grimmer for Knights of Carbet and the 4th SS by every moment. Austrian flak panzer moving up. On its own, again, perhaps not the wisest of ideas. But Knights of Carbet is clearly getting a bit desperate. He suffered too much and he needs something to reverse things, or at least keep things going down in terms of victory points, because he's very close to victory that way, but he is perhaps exhausting himself too fast. Oh, guard squad could finally go down. Oh, will this guard squad once more? No! Finally their luck ran out. At least Dimitri's luck ran out. The other ones, of course, in the squad weren't that lucky because they kept getting killed. So, of course, luck is a bit relative in that department.
He's dead!
Yes, comrades, I'm lucky. Yes, but your friends aren't. I think the NKVD would find that a bit suspicious. Ah. There we go, another guard squad got wiped out. A small victory. But again, things looking rather depleted. That Pack 43 is also going to need some repairs. Desperately so. Misses the H85. Panzer IVs pulling back. Pack 43 not really able to see. Oh dear, he could call in a reconnaissance overflight, but he's not doing that again. Knight of Carbon, he's not utilising his full doctrine, and there we go. A Katyusha has arrived, wrecking the Pack 43 in one thunderous barrage. And the Panzer IV charges in, blitzkrieging in, but without support. Get the rest in, move in, support, Unterstützung, whatever. Looks like an artillery barrage is being summoned in as well. We're not really sure why there. Main gun destroyed, and it is down. It was too late. The Panzer IV number 2 should have been there as well, and so should the Ostwind. He could have had a chance there had he concentrated all tanks in one assault, but he didn't. Noise of Carbet's mistakes are increasing, and this H85 is now Veteran G2, which in German means trouble. Well, in any language pretty much means trouble. Panzer IV, they're doing what they can to flank. But there we go, rounding the corner of a house. A desperate attempt here by Dberlatoo to get the Panzer IV in front of it. Might work, but they're Veterans 1 for the H85. Panzer IV, blitz. There we go. Gets the H85, that was bloody well close. Now there's the Ostwind left, it needs to push forwards. Noise of Carbet needs to push, these Panzer gunners need to retreat. You cannot afford such... Gott im Himmel. He lost another unit. Dberlatoo though is hanging on quite splendidly, doing a lot of damage, that is good. Of course now there's an Ostwind at the loose, but at the same time though, considering Noise of Carbet's current play, he's not going to have to worry about that much about it, because Noise of Carbet again is not a very aggressive player. He's a much more passive one, rather content on just parking on the points, and that does give Dberlatoo some chances of actually recovering. He doesn't have to worry as much about suddenly getting hit by an flak panzer tearing through his units. And in that sense, it actually gives Dberlatoo some sense of security, because again, he knows he doesn't have to worry about getting rushed. He knows he doesn't have to worry about a certain point, because again, Noise of Carbon is the sort of gentleman who just moves to a certain point and then apparently doesn't extend much beyond it. And that's generally something you don't want to happen. You always want your opponent to be on the edge. You want your opponent to fear you, to fear every corner, every shadow. And that's clearly not what's happening here.
Yes, comrade.
And we're seeing another Panzer IV. Not really sure that's going to cut it, I'm afraid.
Tank destroyer here.
But he's got 2 Panzer IVs and an Ostwind. Can he actually utilize them in one grand armoured assault, or will he insist on sending them in piecemeal? Again, he's going to need to launch one hell of an attack. But can he do so? Can he do so? Sniper with 50 kills. Definitely good unit preservation in that regard. Panzer IV moving up north. The other one has yet to arrive, though. Don't get too far ahead yourself, Noise of Carbon. Don't get too far ahead. No. And he also went off with the Blitzkrieg too fast. And there we go. Anti-tank grenade damaging the engine. And the other Panzer IV is far from the scene. Noise of Carbon jumped the gun. And that might just well be his own death warrant he signed right there. I mean, not literal death warrant, but you get it. I hope. I don't want to get a nervous call from Noise of Carbon worrying about death warrants, if you'd be so kind. But there we go, another Panzer IV wasted. Again, not really a solid assault there from Noise of Carbon. Instead, pretty much handing 2 Panzer IVs straight over to Dberlatoo. Bit of a tragedy. And again, that's rather the problem that seems to have arrived for Noise of Carbon. After a certain point, he's just wasting units without really getting the damage back in return.
Replacements have arrived.
And he's certainly breaching Guderian's rule when it came to armoured assaults. Strike with a fist, not with an open hand, or, you know, spread fingers.
Do you need something?
Victory is slipping from our grasp. We have only 50 points remaining.
Panzergun is arriving, but I think it's going to be too late here. He had the chance, but it might be over now. He still got the Ostwind, but that's it. I'm not entirely sure that's going to cut it. There we go, a bit of sprinting going on from the snipers. Pioneers on the retreat. Veteran T2 heavy howitzer. A mortar. Blah. Keep messing about with mortars and howitzers. I hate that. Still, that's definitely quite handy. Katyusha arriving. Panzer Grenadier lost. Ostwind moving up, hitting the flank. But again, without anything to really seriously support, it's not going to cut it. Blitzkrieging up. Certainly, oh! They sunk each other! The Ostwind sunk the Air-35, but the Air-35 took it with it to an icy grave. Infantry, though, assaulting, but they're getting shredded and murdered by rockets, mortar fire, and everything in between. The losses are atrocious.
You have orders?
And Noise of Carbon now has only 3 squads and infantry left. Another H-85 on the way. Hopefully not going to suffer the same fate as the predecessor. Which would be a bit sad. And now he's getting a bunker up, like a medic bunker, but I'd say that's, you know, a bit too little too late. More Panda Grenadiers, but I don't really think that's going to cut it. Just going to speed things up a bit. There we go. 3 victory points on the hands of the enemy. Launching the assault.
Unit count is increasing.
Or at least preparing to do so. Again, not really getting much out of his doctrine.
Incoming fire!
There we go. 1 Katyusha barrage almost wiped out an entire Panzer Grenadier squad. And of course, snipers then proceed to add in a bit of fun as well. And of course, using the sprint ability, of course, to quickly move about. Well played there by Dberlatoo.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Not looking good at all. And Guards infantry rank from the north. Panzer Grenadier squad wiped out. I would say that is definitely GG. Again, the ultimate losses the Knights of Carbide has suffered in comparison to his opponent, simply being too heavy, too grave, too devastating, too much. Simply put, and there we go, game over. A loss for the Reich, a loss for the Germans. Dberlatoo played well for the Knights of Carbide played well for the first half, but then things just fell apart. Too many risks taken without, proper support in some cases. Armoured assaults that didn't quite go very well. Ultimately wasting a lot of units without doing enough damage. That combined with the doctrine, which really didn't see as much usage as it should have. Again, I think Howitzer might have helped him out by, being able to blast certain units. And in that sense, he might have wanted, instead of attacking head-on, try to attack from flanks, perhaps try and flank and catch all of these support units, the mortar and the howitzer, for example, with the Ostwind flak Panzer, while the Panzer IV kept the frontline units occupied. Either way, it didn't really work out well. Instead, Dberlatoo was able to, with better unit preservation, hold down. Good use of mines. I mean, Knights of Carbide tried, but didn't quite go as well. He still didn't cancel that one, so some mistakes there. Better use of the doctrine as well, which definitely helped him out in that regard too. Better overall map control in the longer run. Well, not really, but still hold on better and didn't lose as many units overall. Better unit preservation. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a thing or two. If you did, why not subscribe? Tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not replay your own? Provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.